Silence in court! Security Services, Department of Justice, Inc. Judge Chutney presiding. Court is now in session.
Silence! I recognize that villain. An habitual criminal if ever I saw one.
That's Mr. Greaves, my lord. The counsel for the prosecution.
Silence when you speak to me. Now, who is the first contestant?
Defendant, my lord. The case of Union Security Services versus Howard Hobbins.
Howard Hobbins, come on up. Nice to see you, Howard. You're not nervous, are you?
Not really.
The defendant is accused of gross contempt and assault of a security officer.
Intolerable. What have you got to say for yourself, eh?
I've been framed, Your Honour. May I elucidate, my lord?
Go on then, but hurry up about it.
Officer Blunt was investigating a complaint made against Hobbins. After questioning the defendant, he was the victim of an assault.
Ah! Monstrous! Off with his head!
Just a flipping minute. Who's defending me?
Defence? Is he entitled to any?
I'm afraid so, my lord.
Upon my soul, whatever next? Who'd be silly enough to defend this wretch? Very well, let's get on with round one. Fingers on the buzzers, everyone.
I wish to call Officer Blunt.
Call Officer Blunt!
Please tell the court what happened.
I was assaulted.
And is the culprit present in the court?
That's him in the overalls.
I rest my case, my lord.
Good. Where's my black cap?
We haven't heard the defence, my lord.
Is it really necessary? Oh, go on. Just don't take all day.
Now then, Officer Blunt. What was the nature of your injuries?
I got very wet.
But you didn't suffer any physical harm.
I could have caught a nasty cold.
Tell the court how you got wet.
While patrolling on Bellevue, I was saturated by a sudden shower.
Did you ascertain its source?
Oh, yeah. I heard laughter from the walkway above.
So, you saw the accused pour the liquid?
I couldn't see anything. My eyes were full of water. But I'd recognize his laugh anywhere.
Just how well do you know Hobbins?
I've never met him before.
And yet you say you recognized his laughter.
I don't know.
Who lodged the complaint against Hobbins?
Objection, my lord. Defense is contriving to lead the witness.
It was a simple question. I wish to establish the seriousness of the complaint made against my client.
I shall permit the witness to answer. However, I'm awarding Mr. Greaves 5 points for a well-timed interruption.
So who did lodge the complaint?
It was Daniel Piermont.
What was Mrs. Piermont's grievance?
Cruelty to her pet dog. I interviewed Hobbins on 4 occasions, but he still hasn't confessed.
4 interrogations suggests harassment.
Objection, my lord. Officer Blunt is not the subject of this trial.
Quite correct. Objection sustained. 10 points to the prosecution.
No further questions, Your Honor. I'd like to question the defendant. Did you assault Officer Blunt?
Objection, my lord.
Why, man, what's wrong?
Repetition, my lord?
Objection overruled.
Are you guilty of assault, Howard?
Not me. I was fixing one of the cooling pipes, and it burst.
So Blunt's soaking was an accident?
Not exactly.
Why did the pipe burst?
Some joker had cut a power cable and overloaded the steam release in the power station. That's what damaged the cooling pipe.
Oh, I see. Did you laugh at Blunt's predicament?
Laugh? I'd nearly wet me pants.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Greaves, you may start the bonus round.
The facts speak for themselves, my lord. Hobbins is a cruel and callous man, with no respect for law and order. I recommend the maximum possible sentence.
Any comments from the defense?
I don't believe this is happening. This is total madness. You've all been warped in some way. And I think Link is the cause.
Silence! I've heard quite enough of this nonsense. So it's time for me to make my judgment. Howard Hobbins, you won tonight's star prize! Life imprisonment. However, in view of your service to the city, I'm going to reduce your sentence. 2 hours community service. Court dismissed.
Hello, Mr. Overman.
How did you know my name?
You're a member now, sir. It's my business to know all our members.
Can I go in now?
Certainly. But you're in for a disappointment.
How come?
It looks smart with the lights turned low, but in daylight, it's a flipping toilet.
Do you know anything about a subway?
I've dreamed about them.
Really?
First of all, I'm swimming around like... Then I get sucked up this long tunnel. It's all wet and warm, you know?
I was talking about a real subway. What would you do if you found a body?
Go through its pockets.
No, seriously. A girl I know has been murdered.
It's a sign of the times. There's nothing as cheap as human life. With the exception of this club. How do you know it was murder?
I only met her a few hours ago, and she was fine then.
My advice is to keep quiet. You can't help her now, so look after yourself. Or you might wake up dead one morning.
Never mind. The green select button is lit.
Hey, music lover. If you're looking for the best in sounds, I got 'em. The music of the spheres right here on Earth. So come on, get your fingers on my buttons. Let's make beautiful music together.
How offensive! Why they put voices in these machines is beyond me.
I'm all warmed up for you, baby.
Shut up and let me check the selections. Oh Lord, it's mostly country and western.
Nobody's perfect.
Ah, there are 3 tunes by the resident band.
So, what's your choice, big boy?
You search but find nothing. Pressing the buttons doesn't achieve anything. The select button isn't lit. Pressing the buttons does... The select button isn't lit. Excuse me. Can you match my fingerprints to those on this glass?
Oh yes, my machine will do that automatically.
It's not against the law, is it?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Don't security use them to check people's identities?
If they do, it's the first time I've heard of it. The usual procedure for identification of suspects is a retina scan at the post-mortem. Now, about these prints you requested. Open the panel on my machine and insert the glass. Then place your hands in the otodermatome.
Will this hurt, Doc?
Oh yes, quite considerably.
The door has an old-fashioned lock on it. It's an old trick, but it still works. It's a solid piece of wood. The subway. It's like a warren built by giant rabbits. Uh-oh, the tunnel roof doesn't look too stable. I've exposed the bricks beneath the plaster. The skin's too thick to puncture. It's penetrated the outer skin. Ugh! I made a hole right through the vein! Pulling the handle has loosened the grill. The grill will fall if it's stepped on.
How do you feel, Joe?
I'm completely operational, and all my circuits are functioning perfectly.
That's a relief. Is there any immediate danger?
If your presence here is detected, termination is more than likely.
Are there any other humans in this area?
Negative.
Are you really the Joey I grew up with? You don't sound like him.
That is unavoidable. My shell has a limited syntactic processor.
Oh well. At least you're not so argumentative. It's probably a ventilation grill.
Please be more specific.
I want a detailed report on everything, especially that android.
The android could be dangerous.
Exactly. I don't want to risk my neck. Give me a report on the tank room.
The growth tanks contain developing androids. Nourishment is supplied from a tank. The temperature is maintained by convection from an underground source. The tank contains chemicals on which the androids feed.
So, without it, they'd die?
Affirmative.
Is there a way of draining the tank?
Manual evacuation is achieved by opening a tap.
That will distract the android technician.
Hello! I was not expecting a visitor. A puddle? The tank must be leaking. Humans 1, androids 0. No manual controls. No manual controls.